Welcome to the On the Hill podcast, episode 3 with Pastor Victor.
Pastor Danny.
And this is a podcast that is really about the divine dailies, turning daily life into divine opportunities to learn. And on this episode, we've entitled it God and Grass.
The stuff that grows on your lawn.
Yes. And it's fascinating because as a new homeowner,
And a long-time homeowner.
it's really hard to have good grass.
Amen to that.
And so we noticed, though, there were some parallels between grass and our hearts. And that's what we unpacked this episode, is the parallels between the two. So for all those listening online and listening to us in the podcast, on the podcasting platform, enjoy the episode. And we're off.
And indeed we are.
I've been frustrated lately.
Frustrated.
Yes, I'm frustrated.
Sounds like a serious problem here.
I am frustrated because of the appearance of my home. And there's one pain point right now going on.
One pain point. Only one.
Well, okay.
Or the major pain point.
It's the major pain point.
Okay. What is?
So I go into my... So I live in a cul-de-sac.
Okay.
And normally I am taking a left turn into a left turn to get into my cul-de-sac.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
Well, the corner house that I'm taking a one left turn and another left turn into, I can see their whole yard situation.
Okay.
They have very thin green. I want it. It looks like so beautiful. I want to lay in it. Right?
You're talking about
their grass.
Grass.
Yes. So I take the left turn into the left turn, and I can see their entire yard situation, and it looks so pretty. The bushes, there's little flowers, rocks, the whole landscape I just want to play in it.
You're talking to the wrong person.
And every time I turn left and left, there's this little thing inside of me that activates. And it's disappointment, it's frustration, it's jealousy and envy, and it's just small. It's super small, but it's just like, man, I want to get my situation situated. So I go into my driveway to look right to see my grass situation. And I have spent about 30 days and one landscaper later trying to figure out how to make my grass look like my neighbor's grass. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you that it doesn't look 1% better. It doesn't even look 1% better.
I think people were born with a gift.
Yeah.
And I don't have that gift.
I water it every day.
Maybe that's
No. I water 3 times a day for 15 minutes at 6 a.m.
Okay.
I had my landscaper put a little treatment on it.
Okay.
I had him. We bought some seed and we planted fresh to fill in the gaps. Another little something so that not weeds don't grow up. Right? Like I'm trying everything. I'm praying about it. Like we're trying all.
Oh, just taking the next level.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get this thing to where I hopefully want to see it. And I'm 30 days later, and I'm sad to say that there isn't a single change that has been made. In fact, weeds are still growing. Right? It's like I don't know what to do at this point.
Okay, like I said, you've asked the wrong person. But I remember hearing sometimes one day, your pH levels.
My pH levels
of the soil.
Oh.
Okay. Actually has an effect on weeds. And bad soil makes it easier for weeds to grow and harder for grass to grow. So that's the first level of the fight.
Is the
soil. And I'm thinking to myself, what is this?
Well, I got to thinking.
Okay, thinking.
So I got to thinking, and as I often do, I think a little too deeply on things.
On grass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, this grass is really hard to maintain. It's hard to deal with.
Uh-huh.
It's hard to watch.
Uh-huh.
It's a patient process, a frustrating process. And I
Wow.
thought this kind of replicates a bit of us. And not just us, but kind of dialing it in a little bit. It kind of replicates our heart. It kind of replicates our nature. It kind of replicates human beings at our core. And I love where you just organically went to, which is it may not even be about the soil at all. Or it may not be about the grass at all. It actually may be about the soil.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of takes me to my thinking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So my question to you is, does grass and maintaining grass, maybe I'm reaching, but does it have a parallel to our lives?
I've asked this question many times in my life. God, why? Mosquitoes, I asked about mosquitoes. Okay.
Yes.
But God, why?
What's the point?
Yeah. And weeds. And they grow at the most innocuous places. I mean, it's in the cracks, in the clovers. They take over a whole yard. I mean, it's why? Why do we have to deal with weeds? And yeah, there's a lot to be thought for here. And there our life. There's got to be a connection, and God is asking us to look for the connection between grass and weeds and our heart. Why do weeds grow in our heart? Why can't we ever have the heart or life that we want? Why does it always get messy?
Right.
Why do there clovers and weeds growing everywhere?
Right. And taking it one step further, the more I get into this grass thing, the more scientific it becomes.
Okay.
The more it's like, how often am I watering?
Okay.
How about this? The more intentional it becomes. How often am I watering?
Okay.
How long am I watering? Now I'm going to have to take a look at the soil. Where are the weeds growing? What weeds are growing? It becomes a daily intentional practice of checking out my grass. And just kind of processing a little bit, is there something to an intentional practice, such as keeping up the grass? Is there something to us as humans doing something tedious, doing something in a process? Is there something to that?
Like I said, you're not we're not landscaping artists here, but there's something to be spoken of about caring for something. And I think, because I only think, that grass needs to be cared about, and it knows when it's cared about. And there's an attention.
There's attention and intention.
Yes. There's something to grass that takes both. That we have to be intentional and we have to pay attention to it. Just the soil. Are we giving the right nutrients?
Right.
you know?
For something to be able to grow.
Yeah, we expect grass to be just we water it. I think sometimes we want simple solutions. We just water it and we're done.
Right.
And that's not it. Mm-hmm. There's so much more.
Right.
You know, are we taking care of the soil? Are we have the right kind of grass? Are we taking care of the weeds? Are amazing. You don't have to do anything, and the weeds will grow. You don't have to do squat.
This is fascinating.
And they grow anywhere,
right.
Everywhere.
Anywhere, everywhere, and will continue to grow until you deal with
They'll take over a whole lawn.
Yes. This is interesting. So in a weird way, if making connections here, grass is our heart.
Okay.
Soil is our heart. This is what we want to grow, and this is what we want to grow green and luscious and soft.
I would say the soil is our heart, and the grass is what grows on top of our soil. Maybe grass is our lives. It's a better metaphor. You know, the things that are happening around us. You know, but the heart is the soil. That's the base of everything. We fix that first.
So the soil is our heart. The grass is the fruit.
Fruit of that
Is
soil.
the symptom of having good grass. Then what is weeds? Sin.
That's
Natural habits.
boy. That's a good question. Was wheat just grow and the thing, like I said, wheat grow in bad soil.
They grow no matter the soil.
Right, but not only that, they grow in bad soil. See, that's the problem. We only have
only bad soil.
well, in mostly bad soil. Good soil can resist weeds. You know, they're stronger.
Right.
The soil is stronger. They know how to resist it. You know, they're not as only growing weed. That's the thing about weeds. They grow in areas where only it could grow, where grass can't grow. Because grass needs better soil. I guess sin in our lives could grow in any material. It could just root itself in anywhere. You know, it doesn't need, well, especially good soil, because we need goodness to keep evil away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you don't have goodness, when your heart is not right, good things can't grow, and then you're only left with the bad things to grow in it. What's interesting is weeds is something.
Yeah.
Dandelions is something.
Right.
There's always something that grows in the heart. There's no such thing as an empty patch. You know, something will grow in your heart.
Right.
Will it be grass or weeds?
Right.
And weeds will grow if
Right.
we not care to,
So something will grow no matter
no
what.
matter what.
This is fascinating. This is really interesting because I think oftentimes we believe our lives are neutral. If I do nothing, nothing will happen. If I coast with my habits
Right.
or with my TV watching or my mute, right, whatever the thing is, if I coast, if I do nothing, if I stay neutral, if I am complacent, if I just relax, everything will be good. But nature, right, grass is telling us no.
No.
Something will grow no matter what.
Yes.
Period. Static. Stuff is growing.
Right.
Wow. This is interesting.
And
yeah.
if you don't stop or take out these weeds,
Right.
they will multiply.
So if I stay neutral, not only doesn't weeds grow, but something grows. And if I don't stop it, more things will grow that I don't want to be grown.
So there's this one level of soil improvement.
Right.
We need a better soil.
Right.
There's the right grass component. Make sure we have the right grass.
Right.
And there's also the fighting of these weeds department.
Right.
We let them set, and they ingrain themselves, and they kill the grass around it,
And they
spread.
So in that 3-part framework, let's work there.
Okay.
Soil. Let's start with the soil.
It's our soil. That's the first foundation, right?
The foundation. What is the soil of our lives? What is the soil of our heart? What's the soil? What's the foundation? Is it perception? Is it belief? Is it habits? What's the foundation? What's the dirt?
I think it's your heart. The soil is your heart. That's what the Bible says. Out of the heart is all manners of evil and whatnot. It was originally supposed to be for good. It was originally for good grass, and our soil, our heart, got messed up, and it became foul. It became sin laden.
And so, to your point, when someone is born, are they born with bad soil,
Yes.
or are they born with good soil?
Bad soil. We're sinners by nature.
So when we are born, we are born with bad soil.
Yes.
So our lives
Left
with
itself.
with God is to try to fix our soil issue so that good things can grow.
We want a good life, and that's grass. You want a good grass.
I want great.
You want it for
No, no, no.
yourself.
I want great
Great grass, not just for yourself, for the people to see.
Yeah.
You want to lay in it.
You're right.
You want to play in it.
I do.
Okay. You want to be proud of it.
I'm getting excited. I
Right?
want great grass.
So you want great grass.
Right.
But it starts with the soil.
Right.
And so we need to take care of the soil. We want a great Christian life.
Right.
We want a great Christian marriage and a great Christian spiritual life. We
Right.
want those things.
Right.
But it starts with the heart.
Starts with the heart.
And if we're not feeding the heart the right things, did you catch what I said?
Mm-hmm.
We're not feeding the heart the right things.
Yeah, totally.
And when we feed it garbage, junk, disease,
Or let it be.
or let it be, right? Or let it be. We're
Let it
not
be.
feeding the heart. You gotta
Right.
you gotta feed the
You
soil.
gotta feed it.
Right. And you gotta get the right pH level.
Right.
The right pH level is interesting too. You can't have too much base. You can't have too much acid.
Right.
It's gotta be that God level, that God
Right.
zone.
There's this play
Mm-hmm.
because it's not this,
No.
right? There's this play
Yeah,
of
yeah.
good pH
Mhm.
that when you get right, good things happen.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. See, it's interesting because why do we? I mean, sidebar here, but why do we believe that goodness and righteousness and it's just a line, and if we cross it, we're over here, and if we cross it, it's over there, right? When there's a base there, there's a section here where you can be within that as long as you're there, you're quote unquote okay.
I think there needs to be an adjustment to where you live, the people you surround yourself to, the
Right.
culture you live in. There's always a level of where you need to be in that pH level.
Right.
You know, some areas are more different than others. Some lifestyles are different than others, and God understands that.
Right.
You know, not one pH works in Oregon, works in Tennessee.
Right.
You know, not one grass is different there,
Right.
and so you need to feed it differently.
I love that. I mean, it's we spend so much time worrying about other pH levels. I spend so much time worrying about the neighbor's grass.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Every time I drive, I'm like, right. But to your point, I don't. Maybe even next to me, his grass is different.
Mm-hmm. He might be growing different grass.
He might be growing different grass.
Right. He might have fed it differently.
Fed it differently. His soil could be potentially different.
Right.
And when I'm comparing my pH levels to your pH levels or to someone else's pH levels, not only am I missing the point, but I don't even have enough context to understand their soil.
I mean, there might be clay
Right.
underneath.
There might be a whole different material.
Right. There might be some, like, there might be water, the drainage issues.
Right.
I mean, maybe it's getting more sunlight. There's
Right.
so much stuff
Right.
that's different
Right.
about that lawn
Right.
and how to make it better.
Right.
And to that effect, I think every soul is different. Every heart is different.
Right.
you
Every
know?
context is different.
It's different. And then we have to do what we can to get this soil to a better place, so we could have that grass, so we could have that life, so we could to enjoy. But the one thing about grass, I tell you this: it takes work.
Oh my goodness. Too much work.
It's like, I wish it was like, I went to Southern California this summer. I guess they're having issues with droughts or whatnot. They just houses have ripped off their front lawn. And
What? There's no grass?
they have like that fake grass stuff.
What?
I went to a neighborhood. The whole neighborhood is fake grass.
Wow.
The artificial stuff.
Sure. How did it look?
Terrible.
Terrible?
Everyone has fake grass. It's like astroturf. It's like,
But did it look, I mean, from a block away, does it look good?
it looked green, but once you walk to it, it's artificial.
Mm.
I'm sorry. There's no replacement for grass.
Right. Good grass.
Yeah, it just looked blah. I wasn't impressed by this fake grass everywhere in LA, in California, right? It's like, man. But to that effect, grass takes work, man. There's no once saved and done type of deal.
Right. It's every summer.
Every summer, it's every 2 weeks, every week, man.
That's true.
It takes work to get good grass.
Right. Yeah. And I think your point is interesting, right? About the fake grass. I kind of want to let's camp there. This is interesting. Fake grass from a mile away, from 10,000 feet,
it's green.
From a block away, driving by, it looks great.
It looks green.
It's green. It's perfectly trimmed.
Right.
It's the same size.
Right.
It's amazing. But the closer you get to that grass, the worse it looks.
Yeah, because you see it what it is.
You see for what it is. And we want fake grass. We want
fake lives.
We want fake lives.
We want Facebook life.
We want it to look good from 1,000 feet away, a block away, driving by. But come to find out, the closer you get to a fake life, the worse it looks. And so the question is this: does bad grass look better than fake grass? In a weird roundabout way, close up, does bad grass look better than fake grass?
No, fake grass looks better because at least it looks nice, but it's not real, right?
It's hollow.
Yeah, it's nothing there. It's just empty feeling.
You run your.
No one cares about the grass. It's just there.
Yeah.
If it wears out, you replace it.
Right. But good grass, you're like, oh, I'm impressed.
No. I stop. I look like that's a good lawn.
Right.
I give kudos to whoever is doing whatever.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, it's this whole concept of grass. You talk about the soil, which no one ever talks about. By the way, I got to look into my soil. And that's
you can get it tested, by the way.
I can?
Soil sample.
Soil sample?
There's people who test it.
Okay. I'm going to get that done. I'm going to have great grass one day. But to your point here, it's that 3-layer effect, right? It's like the soil and then the grass. And I love this concept of wanting great grass. We want great lives. But then the weeds. There's this give and take here. And I think if we let the soil be, to your point, things are going to grow. But what is speaking to the weeds? And why can't we just create a solution that takes care of weeds? You ever thought about that? It's 2023. We have figured out how to have VR and we have figured out how to talk to someone halfway around the world. We haven't figured out a permanent solution for weeds.
God cursed the ground. God cursed the ground. There is something to be said that we need to work for our labor.
We need to toil.
We need to toil. This is not our home. You're not perfect. You need something.
You need friction.
You need something, and Christ is that something. Everything works to that end. If we are, I guess we talked about last time, that nirvana effect. If we reach that kind of the stable level, we never achieve, we never grow, we never want anything.
Right.
And then because of the toil, we want something. We want to achieve. We want something else.
So the fake grass actually, it's not even that it looks worse. What it creates in the homeowner.
There's no desire.
There's no desire.
No, nothing.
You just
have
like
it. Right. That we always that the world always seeks after that level of, oh, we made it. But that's not what we want. We want to grow. We want to fail. We want that friction. We need it.
We want to toil with the grass.
Yes, that's what we really want. But the other side comes, we just want like that line.
So you're saying that when God curses the ground, it's not that we are to toil. He's saying this is what you really want and this is what you really need. You need to toil for this ground, for this earth.
We need to try. We need to have this give and take. We need to sweat with our brows. And that's what relationship is with God. We always think relationship, come on, in our marriage, we're always thinking, well, I just want a marriage that's just perfect, right?
Right.
That's not what marriage is.
Right.
Marriage is falling and struggling and toiling and working and striving and being confused and,
And plucking out the weeds
Right.
and watering the grass, but then sometimes you don't need to water it.
And that's what life is. And grass and soil is emblematic of our lives.
Right.
When we stop trying, when we stop doing, it become, let's pull it out, put fake grass. Let's have a fake marriage.
Right.
Let's have a fake relationships.
Right.
Let's have a fake church.
Right.
Let's have grass that's just green.
Right.
But that's not it.
Right.
Are we really wanting to do? Because it takes, as my wife would say, are you willing to work? Because real grass takes work.
Yeah.
You want to work. Great. I'm glad you want to work. And I think for all of us, do we want to work for our grass? And in some respect, some respects of me, I almost don't want to water my lawn.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because I know that my grass will die. And guess what? If my grass dies, I don't have to worry about anything.
Mm-hmm. It's easier for us to put fake grass, but it's also easiest to let our grass die.
Die. Right.
Just give up.
Just give up, let it die. I'll come back in the winter. It's really because it takes so much work, so much effort.
I left the leaves.
You did this year.
No, last year.
Oh, okay.
I left the fall and the leaves
right.
fall. And I was a new homeowner living in this home, and I tell Eden, she raked them, but our bin that we put the leaves in was full. Okay. So I said, okay, next week. Well, week 1 passes, and I'm like, don't worry about it. And week 2, and now we're into the winter, and it's raining every day. And so the next spring comes, and there's a semblance of leaves. Most of them are disintegrated and decomposed. And so I go outside with Eden, and we're going through the whatever leaves are left, and now there's just dirt. There's no grass at all. And I find it fascinating too that if you leave something on your grass long enough,
it'll kill
it. It won't be dead, right? Because dead can be revived.
Right.
It'll kill it. I mean, there won't be any seeds left.
Yeah.
How does it speak to that? What do we leave on our lawns?
What do we leave in our hearts?
What do we leave in there?
Yeah. And we don't remove it. That part dies.
Yeah. What is it? What is that thing? I'm just in my question. What things have I just left on my front lawn of my heart? What things have I just been like, I'll take care of that next week.
Yeah.
I'll take care of that next summer.
Yeah.
And then when I do,
it's dead.
It's dead.
Yeah.
You know what I had to do? I had to dig out, level it out, and install grass on top and let it grow. And now it looks like there was no patch at all. And that's God. When I leave something too long in my heart and it kills that grass, it's only God who can install new grass.
He is the creator, right?
Yeah.
He takes what's dead and makes it new again.
Yeah.
And we need that. We need fresh grass. We need fresh life in our souls that only He can do. It's a challenge for us, for sure. Grass is such a wonderful metaphor for our hearts and for our lives, and how we need to be constantly attentive to our hearts.
3 tips for good lawn care from 2 pastors. What would it be?
Get a specialist. No, I'm serious. There are people in this podcast screaming at us.
Yes.
You guys don't know nothing.
And you know what? You're right.
No, they're right.
You're right.
And
but 3 tips from 2 pastors. Check your soil.
Get help.
Get help.
Yeah, get help. You're not a specialist.
I love that.
Get help.
Oh, I was going to say check your soil. And you're saying go before that.
Read
Just
a
get
book.
help. Yeah.
And that's what the Bible is for.
Get help.
Get help. Get some instruction. Get some basic instruction, some basic knowledge.
Don't do it by yourself.
No. You don't even know your heart. You
Right.
don't know the soil.
Right. Get help.
Help.
I love that.
That's your first play.
That's your first play.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So for all those at home, just like me, now I did get some help.
Yeah.
And we're working it out together.
Mm-hmm.
And to your point, getting help doesn't imply the solution will be there right away. Getting help just means you're not going through it alone.
Mm-hmm.
You have someone to work with, to toil with.
Mm-hmm.
And for some of us, we can ask for help horizontally, but we could always ask for help vertically. And God is the best vine dresser, but God is the best gardener. God is the best landscaper. God is the best homeowner. And when we need it, we gotta ask for help.
Talking about the most basic thing in life, grass, but how important it is, what it does, what it shows us. God and grass
Episode 3, God and grass.
on the hill, hopefully with lush grass.
Amen.